presence today as we turn to you, as we long for you. Be with us. Guide us. Amen. I want you to begin this morning to think about the three central characters of this very long parable. I want you to think about the Father, the Son, and the older brother. Every time that Jesus Christ shared a parable, there was not wasted language. Every time that Jesus Christ took the time to speak, to share, he wasn't just sharing a story to waste time. He was a teacher using every element of living to make it possible for his story to be remembered. Jesus Christ very intentionally shares in this story a lesson that he wanted everyone to hear, a lesson of a caring father, a younger son in need, and an older brother who did not step away from his task. I want you to think about those three images today, and I want you to think about the dual purpose of Christ telling this story. Christ both challenging the individuals listening to the parable to see their face and image in each person, as well as challenging each person hearing the parable to think about the importance that each of these characters play in their development as individuals and their development as an overall culture. I would like for you to do that today. We are going to talk about the Father, the Son, and the older brother today. And we are going to talk about how that they are pivotal foundations in our lives of growth, our lives of self-discovery, and our lives of having a foundation to stand on in faith. And then we are also going to talk about the necessity of us being the hands and feet. Not just the hands and feet of the Father, not just the hands and feet of the Son, but the hands and feet of a very consistent and diligent older brother who never stepped away from his task. Let's look at the easiest one first. Let's look at the Son. The Son takes the pivotal focus of the entire story. We learn about a younger person who is so full of ideas and longing and wanting to have experiences that he goes and he asks his father for his inheritance so that he can go out and see the world. He wants to go out and see what's outside of his farm. He wants to go out and he wants to see what is outside of the life that he understands. He wants to go out and learn about the world in a new and exciting way so that he can see what whole life has to offer. When I heard this story in Sunday school, it shared the younger son's life as a cautionary tale. It's a story that says that we need to go out. We need to be respectful of the resources we have. We need to be respectful with the gifts the Father gives us. We need to be the ones who do not go out and waste and worry, but be the ones that are faithful and strong and preserve what is given to us by the Father. And all of those statements are true. I value the hearing of the life of the prodigal son because it is a tale that talks about what it means to truly value what God gives us. To truly value the gifts and the graces that are provided to us by our Father so that we do not misuse them. This week, as I did my personal Bible study to prepare for this sermon today, I began to see the Son through a different set of eyes. And it made me kind of long and wish for, you know how like every movie has a sequel anymore and they're remaking old TV shows and they're putting old TV shows back so that we can see where the lives of the characters have gotten to this point? The way I started to think about the prodigal son today, it makes me long for a desire for the prodigal son too. So I can see what happens in his life after that he had these experiences. The way that I started to look at the son through my personal study this week is a person that wanted to see the greater potential in the world. He wanted to have gifts, and he wanted to go out, and he wanted to interact with the world. Because if we stay in the places that we are, we don't know the real needs that exist outside of us. I saw the younger son as a person that stepped out of a place that he wasn't quite ready to leave yet, and was so overwhelmed by what he discovered, he began to see the importance to go back and to grow up a little bit more so that he could go back and deal with what the real world threw at him. The two sides of the younger son. Yes, we have to, in our lives, be ready. We have to be ready to take care of what God has given us and to use those gifts in proper ways. And we also need to be a people who are willing to step outside of our comfort levels, even at times if we find ourselves over our head, so that we can see what really exists in the world, so that we know how to use the gifts the Father gives us. When I looked at the younger son this week, I again saw the cautionary tale of not wasting what we're given. But I began to think a little bit more are we wasting what we're given if we only ever stay where we're comfortable? That's why I need the sequel. I need to see what the younger son does next, because he went out and experienced, he came back to grow up a little bit more. But I think through what Jesus Christ challenges us to do, I think the sequel would see a younger son more trained, more learned, and more prepared to go back out and use the gifts more efficiently than the way that he used them before.